Hello, my name is TJ Watt. I'm a nature and conservation photographer from Victoria, British Columbia, and I work as a campaigner and photographer with an organization I helped co-found called the Ancient Forests Alliance. We work to protect BC's endangered old-growth forests and push for more sustainable forestry practices in second-growth forests as an alternative. So I spend a lot of my time out here in the woods exploring both the beauty and the unfortunate destruction of BC's old-growth forests. For my Trebek Initiative project, I'm working on a number of things, but the main focus is creating additional series of before and after images. This is when I take pictures of trees when they're standing and then when they're cut down and put those images side by side. I find it's the most striking and compelling way to highlight just how destructive old-growth logging is here in British Columbia. It involves a lot of work on the ground, where first I have to identify an area that's at risk. I go in, I explore the forest, I find the biggest trees, I take pictures of them, often with me beside them for scale, and record their location and my whole camera setup so that I can return, if and when logging takes place, to capture the after images, which feature these gigantic stumps and vast clear cuts. Later I put those images side by side to show, again, just that striking contrast of what we're losing on a daily basis here in British Columbia. I also plan on doing some aerial imagery from either a helicopter or a plane to cover the vast distances across Vancouver Island and southern BC, and again, highlight both the areas that are important to protect and also the impacts of large-scale clear-cut logging on the landscape. One of the only ways that you can really get a sense of the impact that logging has here is when you fly above the forest and capture those aerial shots. I'm also always on the hunt for the biggest tree in the country, and this weekend and next I'm going to dedicate some time specifically towards finding that tree. It's a big maze out here. You just never know what you're going to find, but we're in a part of the world where trees can grow as wide as your living room and as tall as a downtown skyscraper. So it's one of the greatest adventures ever to go on these big tree hunts. I feel the best way that I can help work to protect these forests is to be out here on the ground and to capture the loss of these ecosystems and share those images with people around the world. So hopefully they are inspired to speak up and take action and push for science-based policies and legislation that protects these endangered old-growth forests. In terms of the expected impact of my project, I really hope that the images I'm able to capture are viewed by millions of people around the world. So often, old-growth logging is taking place out of sight and therefore out of mind, and it's only when people are able to witness what's happening in our forests that they're able to understand that they're at risk. And through the power of social media, traditional news media, and the reach of our organization and that of the Trebek Initiative, it's my hope that these images inspire thousands, hundreds of thousands, even millions of people to act and speak up for BC's endangered old-growth forests, because they're truly irreplaceable ecosystems. Nobody's waiting around 500 or 1,000 years for these trees to come back once they're cut down. It's a one-shot deal. Tree plantations do not replicate old-growth ecosystems like the one I'm sitting in today that are home to diverse species that store carbon, which is important for mitigating climate change, important for clean water, for drinking, and for wild salmon, endangered species habitat, tourism, First Nations cultures. It's all hands on deck right now to ensure that we can protect these incredibly special places.